You are listening to Mostaccioli Murder, Book 1 of the Jade Sommer series, written by Nicolette Pierce. Copyright 2020. Audio copyright 2025 by Pierced Heart Publishing. Digitally narrated with full cast of voices. Chapter 25. On my way to Jalen's apartment, I drove over the bridge that looked down on the local park where Sparrow liked to sell. It might have been too early in the day for him to be hanging out, but I figured I'd drive by and look, just to be certain. If anybody knew about criminal activity in Chicago, it was him. As I drove past, a bright streak of pink against the green backdrop of the park caught my attention. It was either Sparrow or my eyes were playing tricks on me. I turned at the next light and drove toward the entrance. Parking on the street, I jogged through the grassy area to get closer to the river. Sparrow was unmistakable. Strip him of his caked-on makeup, platform shoes, and pink boa, and he could blend in with a motorcycle gang. He was a tall, broad man with gray, spiky hair and a serious goatee. The fact was, even though Sparrow was a drug dealer, he was actually a good person to have in the park. The park was his turf, and every thug knew not to encroach. And Sparrow never sold drugs to minors. Even some of the beat cops left him alone since he was the lesser of many evils. He eyed me as I neared him. Recognition widened his gaze, and his wary expression turned to a cheerful one.
"I haven't seen you for ages,"
Sparrow said. Haven't been back for ages. But a friend of mine went missing.
"Yeah? Who's that?"
Logan. Sparrow snorted.
"I thought you dropped his ass years ago. What you chasing him around for now?"
We're not dating, I said. Weird things have been happening, and now he's missing. Have you heard of anything peculiar going on in the area?
"There's always something peculiar going on,"
he said with a wink. Do you know a guy named Wayne? Did he ever buy drugs from you?
"I don't really do names. Harder to fudge the truth when the cops come sniffing."
I showed Sparrow the picture of Wayne from when he was younger.
"Don't recognize him, but I do recognize the little blonde girl."
Sommer? Sparrow shrugged.
"I don't do names, remember? But yeah, it's probably her."
Did she seem like a person who would kill her boyfriend?
"No, more anxious. Fidgety, too."
Did she buy from you?
"No, didn't have enough money. Tried to get me to trade with her."
Trade what? He grimaced.
"Nothing I'd want to do with a blonde."
Sparrow had an aversion to anyone with blonde hair. I never was able to get him to tell me why. Do you know anything about this vase? I asked as I showed him the pictures.
"Not really my taste. What's significant about it?"
That's what I'm trying to find out. Wayne stole it, and he was later found with a kitchen knife in his chest. Before he died, he sold it to a pawn shop. Someone wants it.
"Was there anything inside of it?"
By the time I found it, there wasn't. But someone shot out the restaurant window trying to get it.
"If there's nothing inside the vase, then the significance of it must be on the outside."
I looked at the picture of the vase again. Do you mean like the dragons?
"Could be. People relay messages through household items all the time, but you would need a way to decode the message."
If anyone was sending messages, it might have been Lan. This vase was stolen from Mr. Lee. Lily says it's not valuable, but Lan is acting like it's life or death.
"I've heard a few things about Landon. He's mixed up with the Blood Dragons."
The Blood Dragons were a relatively new gang to Chicago. Relatively new being 15 years. Some Chicago gangs predated Al Capone. He wouldn't be that stupid, would he? I asked.
"He's an angry kid with a need to prove himself. Yeah, he would be that stupid."
If Lan was involved with the Blood Dragons, then he was in over his head. The Blood Dragons were a bloodthirsty group that didn't take screw-ups lightly. If Lan was sending messages through the vase for the Blood Dragons, and that got messed up, he was as good as dead. But why did Wayne steal the vase? Did he owe money to the blood dragons or a rival? Who would want that vase besides the blood dragons? I asked.
Possibly a rival gang. If they knew messages were being sent by the vase, they would want it.
But why? What would it do for them?
If I had to guess, a large shipment of candy might have been coming in. If that's the case, the message might have indicated where the candy was located for pickup.
And without the vase, the blood dragons don't know where it is, I surmised.
If Lan isn't dead now, he will be soon.
He glanced over my shoulder.
Who is that?
I glanced behind me to find someone walking over to us. Short-statured, the person was made taller by towering spiked hair. Bulky gym clothes hung off their shoulders in waves of fabric. When the figure drew closer, I finally recognized it was Mila. "What did you do to yourself?" I asked.
I came to help. I borrowed clothes from your brother. Thought I'd look more like a thug.
Sparrow snorted.
More like a toddler playing dress-up.
I could say the same about you,
she said, eyeing his attire. Whatever amusement was on his face slid off. I stepped over to Mila. "We should get going. Sparrow, thanks for your help."
Anytime. But if you come back, leave the thug at home.
Mila glared at him as I pulled her away. "Maybe it's best if you go back to the restaurant and hang out with Ross or Kobe. How's the branding coming along?" I asked, hoping to sidetrack her.
Oh, it's brilliant. I have everything ready to go. I was thinking we can do a grand reopening.
I didn't want to tell her that a grand anything might be out of the question, but that was a problem for a later time.
So where are we heading now?
Over to Jalen's.
The widow? Why would you need to speak to her?
There's something off about her. I wasn't sure if it was just her animosity toward my family or if it was something more. I think Jalen and the chef who quit are sleeping together. Seems fishy that Lars quits, and then Wayne is found with a knife in his chest. Come to think of it, I didn't remember Lars being at the funeral lunch, so maybe he was the one Logan was trailing. "Were you able to find Lily?" I asked.
No, she didn't answer the door. And Mr. Lee told me to go away.
When we sat in the car, I texted Lily to see if she had found out any information on Lan. Since she didn't reply right away, I pulled away from the curb and headed over to Jalen's. I figured Jalen wouldn't let us in through the secured entrance, so we waited until someone exited and we slipped in. I wasn't sure what kind of reception we would get, but I prepared myself for a bit of frostbite. However, when I knocked on the door, a little girl answered it. I recognized her from the funeral. She was about 5, if I had to guess. "Hi," I said, glancing behind the girl for Jalen. "Where's your mommy?"
Not here.
"Do you have a babysitter?"
Yes.
"Can I speak to your babysitter?"
Okay.
She backed away from the door and went into the living room and sat on the couch. "Where's your babysitter?"
Right there.
she said, pointing to the TV. "The TV is your babysitter?" A shriek came from a room off to the side, and 2 little boys raced through the living room.
Shh.
The little girl reprimanded the boys.
The mean lady downstairs will complain again.
The older of the 2 boys yelled back that it didn't matter because they were moving. "Where are you moving?" I asked. The girl wrinkled her nose.
With Daddy Lars.
Daddy Lars? Was Jalen really replacing Wayne so quickly? The funeral was yesterday. "And where does Lars live?" I asked.
You know the place that has all the bugs in the window?
"No, I can't say that I know that place." The girl frowned.
He lives above there.
"Didn't Lars want to move here with you?" I asked. Who would uproot 3 kids to move in above a place that had bugs? Sounded like a horrible idea. The little girl shook her head.
Daddy Lars says he's the daddy now, and we have to go with him.
This conversation was making me uncomfortable. Something was very wrong. While Mila silently walked through the apartment peering into rooms, I asked, "Where is your mom now?"
At work.
The girl said. "And you don't have a babysitter or Lars to watch you?" She pointed to the TV.
That's our babysitter.
I scanned the TV, wondering if I had missed something. A small camera sat on top. Oh, does she watch you from work? I asked. The girl nodded.
When she can. She's a waitress.
Where does she work?
At the bar at the end of the block. But she won't work there for long.
Why not?
Daddy Lars said once she has his baby, then she can stay home.
His baby? How nice of him, I said. The sarcasm was lost on the girl, but not on Mila, who snorted. Do you think Lars is a nice man? The girl glanced at the TV and then at me.
He gets mad sometimes.
How mad?
He yells.
Does he hit anyone? I asked. There was a pause as if she wasn't sure if she should say anything. But then the little girl said,
He hit Mommy once, but he promised not to do it again.
Has he hurt any of you? She shook her head. It was a relief to know they hadn't come to harm yet, but violent people had a way of spreading their terror onto anyone near them. I didn't doubt for a minute he'd turn on them, just the way Logan's dad had turned on both his wife and son. Do you have Lars's phone number? She nodded.
It's on the refrigerator.
I headed over to look and found it listed on a piece of paper under a magnet. I snapped a picture of it and then ripped a piece off the paper. I wrote down my name and number and gave it to the girl. Call me if you ever need help, okay? She nodded. Mila and I let ourselves out and walked back to the car.
I don't like them being all by themselves.
I don't either. Jalen probably can't afford a babysitter, but I'm not comfortable leaving the children alone. I guess the one good thing was that Jalen worked close by. I wasn't willing to turn a blind eye to their circumstance, but it sounded like the situation would resolve itself once Jalen had the baby.
Lars sounds like a real piece of work.
I'm just glad he doesn't work at the restaurant anymore.
Why did he quit?
I think it was because of Aunt Dot. Not many can work with her. But now I'm wondering if it wasn't because of Jalen and the baby. If Lars has a violent streak, what if he was the one to kill Wayne so he could be with Jalen?
He's the #1 suspect in my book. Who else would have bothered killing Wayne?
I filled Mila in on the details of what Sparrow suspected.
Messages sent by the vase?
That's what Sparrow thinks.
That weird guy with a boa?
He's not so weird.
He's sporting a goatee and a boa.
His fashion sense might be eccentric, but he's a decent guy if you overlook his occupation. As we neared the car, I heard someone shout behind me. I turned to find Jalen coming at me with a metal spatula. With her death glare and the waving spatula held high in the air, she knew I had been in her apartment. Mama Bear was furious.